Welcome everyone. We are going to be talking about business credit and business funding today. So if you are looking to build business credit, get business credit, and most importantly, get business funding, so that way you can grow and expand your business with OPM, other people's money. My name is Credit Coach Nicole Scott. In today's video, we are going to be covering everything that you need to know in regards to building business credit and getting business funding. Let's go. Welcome back, guys. If you have not by now, make sure that you have subscribed to my channel, Credit Coach Nicole Scott, where I teach you guys how to build personal credit, how to build business credit, and most importantly, how to repair your personal credit so you can get business funding and you can get personal funding. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about none other than business credit and business funding. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about what you're going to gain from today's video. You're going to gain some of the strategies and resources that you're going to need that the gurus are literally charging you thousands of dollars for. I am giving you this information for free, so it's up to you to take action. Now, keep in mind, we do have a business credit course that includes all of this information in it. This is going to help you and your business get to the next level. How do I know? Because I've literally gone through this myself, and this is what I do. I help people get funding. No, I do not charge a success fee, but I do charge for coaching because I want to teach you how to fish. Not only are you going to be able to fish for one business, but you can fish for as many businesses as you would like. Okay, this is the fastest way to build out your business credit, and it works for any business out there. You are going to learn how to get access to funding for startup businesses and existing businesses. So if you are a startup business, that is going to be something that you want to stick around for the entire video because we are going to be covering everything that you need to know. And same for you existing businesses out there as well. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to attract multiple funding offers from banks and lenders because, as you know, there are so many different lenders out there, and sometimes you just don't know where to go, what to do, and you end up with places like Fundbox or Bluevine or some of these third-party banks, or not even banks, third parties that have relationships with the banks. Let's cut the middlemen out and let's go straight to the source. This is what we are going to be teaching in today's masterclass. Yes, the masterclass is going to be long, so make sure that you have grabbed a pen, you have grabbed paper, you are taking notes. You can pause, you can rewatch, but most importantly, you have subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any more important videos like this. Let's talk about what you are going to gain from today's video. You are going to be gaining access to higher limits from banks and lending institutions. I am going to show you how to structure your reports so you can maximize your funding. Yes, you can do all of this yourself. You do not need to hire a funding expert. You do not need to hire a funding company that's going to take 10 to 20% of your credit. You need to keep all of this for yourself because at the end of the day, you still have to pay it back. You cannot afford to give a success fee of 10 to 20% for someone filling out an application for you, okay? It's just not feasible. I'm going to be showing you the fastest way to get access to unsecured business capital, the best banks and credit unions that were going to provide you the business credit that you need for your business. Now, my personal goal with today's session is going to be showing you how you can improve your business and personal credit and increase your business's ability to grow faster by leveraging credit. Leveraging credit, which we call OPM, that's other people's money. We want to use other people's money to make these business investments. We want to use this money to wisely invest in our business to grow, marketing, employees, growth. These are things that we need to be using this business credit for. Whether you want to start up another business, whatever the case may be, we want to make sure that you are using this credit and this funding in the most, how do I say this properly without getting myself in trouble? We want to make sure you're using this money in the most responsible way, fashion, and form, because this can get you in a whole heap of trouble. I have literally seen this credit be the rise of people, and I have seen it be the fall of people. So you need to make sure that you are making your next move your best move. And with credit, it needs to be paid back. This is not money that is just handed over to you and say, hey, here's a gift from God. No, this is credit. You still have to make payments. You still have to pay it back. So make sure that you are using it responsibly, okay? Now, a few years back, I learned the importance of credit. Why? Because I went through my own personal experience back in 2017, I think it was. 2017. I lost my big corporate job, lost everything, always had decent credit. My credit literally tanked within a month or two to a 484, and I couldn't get squat. So I ran into multiple problems. I had to sell my home, but guess what? After I sold my home, I had a whole lot of cash, but I was not able to even rent anywhere because my credit was trash. So the cash was literally pointless. What did I do with the cash? I used the cash and I made a business investment. And guess what? I purchased a semi truck. What happened to that truck? It broke down. I used cash. Eventually, I ran out of cash. So the whole entire investment went down the drain. Of course, if you can't pay your payments because your truck broke down, then of course they're going to come take the truck. That's exactly what happened. And I lost everything. So take it from someone who has experience in this stuff. You do not want to use your own credit. You want to use you do not want to use your own cash. You want to use credit so you don't get stuck in those type of situations where you don't have any money to pay for repairs or things that come up within business. So I was stuck. I was bad off. I was, just a mess of a situation. I could not buy a car. I could not lease a car. I could not buy a house. I could not lease a house. I could not even do squat with my credit. So what happened? I had to educate myself. I had to go through credit repair. I went through multiple credit repair agencies, Lexington Law, Blue Sky Financial, you name it. I probably went through it. I finally realized, hey, these places are a crock of you know what, and they're not doing squat for me. So I need to learn how to do this stuff myself so I can be responsible and fix my credit. Whether you're fixing your credit yourself, which is what I highly recommend. Now, keeping in mind, I do credit. This is, one of the things that I do, but I'm telling you, most success when it comes to credit repair is not necessarily within credit repair, but it's the credit building. You can repair your credit without credit repair. Yes, you're going to have to pay off some old debts, but hey, it's a part of the process. If you want help with credit repair, you can always reach out and I can certainly help you and we can discuss a good game plan moving forward. Now, I learned about credit. I went to YouTube University. I purchased multiple people's classes, courses, coaching, you name it. I've probably have joined or purchased some sort of digital product from just about every so-called guru out there. Yes, I've learned a lot from different people, but my job is to bring all of that information and give it to you guys very simple and straight to the point. Now, when I was first learning, I remember sitting at my 9 to 5, watching YouTube, literally watching all of these people that I learned from and saying, I'm so confused. Like one person said this person said that. I was listening to Mike from the Credit Game. Now, obviously, his channel has been shut down now because apparently he was a fraud ring. But nonetheless, I was just learning from people on YouTube that were allowing, us to learn from them. That's what was available at that time. This was years ago. Now I became that person. I want to teach you guys. I want to be able to give you the realest, straightforward, no BS information out there. So that way you can learn of the language of credit and the secrets that the banks use in order to actually approve you to get the credit that they have. The secret behind all of this is learning the love language within the banking systems. Learning how to date and have relationships with banks and financial institutions. That's it. I know it sounds hard, but believe me, we're not monogamous when it comes to these banks. We might date a few banks at the same time, and that's okay. But we'll get into all of that. So again, guys, make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, Credit Coach Nicole Scott. Follow me on Instagram. If you want to connect more, all of my links are in the description below. Now, there are two parts to making more money. And I know that's why a lot of you are here, is to get the bag so you can get to more money, right? Now, you want to make sure that you're choosing the right business, the right investment, because as I shared with you before, investments can go south very quickly. I purchased a semi-truck. It broke down. That went south quicker than I could even count to 10. So let me tell you, I know firsthand, and that's why I'm trying to help you guys avoid the same mistakes that have costed me a lot of money. You want to know how to access funding and capital to fuel that business and investment. Now, had I done that with my previous trucking business, I would have been in a lot better shape. But unfortunately, we live and we learn, and sometimes we just have to learn the hard way, right? Now, what is business credit and who exactly needs it and who's going to get it, right? These are some of the things that we're going to be covering in today's masterclass. And I want you guys to understand, it does not matter how long your business has been open. Of course, it does play a role, but you can be a newer business and still get business credit. So that is a myth that I wanted to just, flat out say, hey, even if you are a newer business, you can still get business credit. It is going to require personal credit. So you want to make sure that your personal credit is in a good place. You can probably get fairly easy, like the Capital One Sparks card. However, that is going to report to your personal credit. We do not want that because that is going to affect your personal credit utilization. You have a lot more flexibility on the business side when it comes to utilization than you do on the personal side. We want to keep our personal separate and squeaky clean so we can use it to personally guarantee for as many businesses as we may need, okay? That's where a lot of business opportunity comes in, especially if you can be what we call a credit grantor for the business. Now, high limit credit cards and spending power. Now, per the Small Business Association, credit limits on the business card side are usually anywhere from 10 to 100 times higher than the consumer side. Why? Because they know businesses have a higher amount that they spend on different business needs like marketing, supplies, and different things of that nature. So, of course, business credit cards and business lines of credit are going to be a higher limit on the business side versus the personal side, especially when you already have some sort of comparable credit on the personal side. So if you already have a few high limit credit cards on your personal side, imagine what that can do for you on the business side. If you can already be trusted with $20, $30, $40, or $50,000 credit cards on the personal side, then it's game on for the business side. So let me just say, you are already in a good position if you have set up and structured your personal credit profile properly. If you need help with that, you can always visit the links below, book a call with me, and we can chat more about that. But the personal credit is going to be required for any sort of real, and I say real with quotations, real business credit. A lot of people talk about these no PG items. Oh, this card, that card, divvy, blah, blah, blah. We want real deal revolving lines of credit. We don't want divvy. Yeah, it's helpful to build with, but it is a net 30. You're going to have to pay back all of the spend within 30 days. So it's just like a charge card, which, not much flexibility there. I literally had a client, got approved for divvy. He made a bunch of spend. He did not understand the terms, and they pulled the money out of his bank account within 30 days and wiped out all of his cash. He thought it was going to be a revolving line of credit, and it certainly was not. So it's very important for you guys to understand your terms. I talk about terms a lot, but you want to make sure that you understand each of the terms when it comes to credit. When is this bill going to be due? Is it going to be a revolving line of credit where I can make the minimum payment? Or is it going to be like a net 30 or a charge card where I have to pay the account balance in full within 30 days of being invoiced? Just understand what your terms are. Some terms are net 10. I've even seen a couple gas cards net 1, which makes no sense to me. But hey, if it helps you build, I'm all for it temporarily. Number 2, let's talk about protecting your personal finances. Now, we talked about this a little bit before, and I'll touch on it again. We really want to separate those business expenses from the personal expenses. Now, a lot of you that are in the business world might understand the whole concept of piercing the corporate veil. And that's why you really want to make sure that you are separating your personal and your business assets. You are separating those expenses. You have your own separate business bank account, separate business bank cards, credit cards. All of that is separate, and it is protected by your corporation or your LLC. And then you have your personal side over here. We want to keep that all nice and squeaky clean so we can leverage it for multiple businesses. Your business credit is built you need to make sure that your business credit is built out properly. Now, what this means is we want to make sure that your business credit is built out properly so it doesn't depend on or report to your personal credit. We want to keep everything separate, okay? And that's why I talked about the Capital One Sparks card, because although it's a business credit card that pretty much, most businesses can get approved for because it's with Capital One, but it does report to the personal. So it's kind of pointless to get the Capital One Sparks card. Yes, it's a business card. I've had a lot of people get excited because they got approved, but not so fast, okay? We want to make sure that you understand, again, the terms. Like, part of the terms are, where does this thing report to, right? If it reports to our personal credit, not interested, no go, okay? We want to get business credit that does not report to our personal credit because we want to separate the two. We want to separate the two. We do not want to pierce the corporate veil when it comes to our LLC or our corporation. We want to keep our personal assets and our business assets completely separate. So we want to have a personal bank account, a business bank account, personal credit cards, business credit cards. We want to separate the two, okay? And you want to make sure when you are doing your due diligence for a lot of these business credit accounts, make sure they are not going to be reporting to your personal credit. Do not co-sign as a, co-applicant, because sometimes that means that it's going to report to your personal credit. A lot of these business accounts, business credit accounts for auto loans, a lot of them do report to your personal credit. So a lot of people say, oh, go get an auto loan with Mercedes-Benz or this or that. Well, I will be the first one to tell you, if you go to Mercedes-Benz and you apply for their commercial auto program, it will report to your personal credit, because the way that they write the contract is they're writing it for your business name and your personal name, because you're personally guaranteeing it. So it does report on your personal credit. So if that's something that you don't want, most of us do not want that, we want to go somewhere else like Bank of America, where we know if we get an auto loan through this financial institution, it is not going to report to our personal credit. Okay, that's very important. You do not want any of these auto loans on your personal credit report, especially if you're going to be purchasing property, because it could really affect your overall debt to income, even though it is in the business name. But, we want to just keep those as separate as possible. Okay. Number 3, tax advantages. Now, businesses and investors, they get the biggest tax write-off, and business interest can be deducted on your taxes. Now, let's talk about what that means, because some people misconcept, and I'm not a CPA. I don't give legal or tax advice. I'm just giving you basic information, right? This is for educational and informational purposes only, right? But it's real life, okay? So when it comes to taxes and writing off, what that means is you won't pay taxes on that money. So when people say you can write off a vehicle on your taxes, what that means is, there's a portion of your income that you might not have to pay taxes on because you were able to write off things. It doesn't mean that you're just scot-free, right? Tax deductions are, particular purchases that you don't have to pay taxes on. So there are a lot of little things out there that you would definitely need to discuss with a CPA. I recommend, someone who specializes in accounting, certified public accountant, someone who has license to give you proper legal advice, preferably someone from your area or from the state that your business is registered in, because you want a professional from that state. Every state is different. There are some states out there that, have crazy tax laws, like California, unfortunately. And then there's other states that are better for business owners, like Nevada, Texas, Florida, Wyoming, Delaware, Alaska, just to name a few, Washington, right? But, it's up to you to decide what's going to be best for you and your business. But you can certainly write off some of the interest that you have on credit, which is a huge savings for most business owners, okay? So let's talk about business credit myths. I am so glad we caught this subject, because there are so many gurus out there that talk about business credit because maybe they learned it from a mentorship, or they're just getting started in this realm, and they want to provide people with value, right? But you have to understand, not everyone out there knows what the hell they're talking about. But you have to take everything kind of with a grain of salt, and you have to say, okay, I know everyone is different. Every business is different. There's never going to be something that happens the same exact way when it comes to credit. One person might get approved. The next person might get it denied. There's no rhyme or reason, right? Sometimes you just have to understand that it's not the right time for you based on the data points, right? Someone might have a higher credit score than you. Someone might have less debt to income, just never know. So let's talk about some of the business credit myths and how we can help clarify some of those things for you. So let's talk about you need to have an LLC or corporation established for years in order to get business credit. Is that true? Is that false, right? And then personal and business credit is reported the same. Let's talk about that. And then we're also going to talk about the way my business is set up just doesn't matter, right? Those are 3 myths that I absolutely want to bust for you guys, because You absolutely do not need to have your business, LLC, or corporation established for years in order to start building business credit. You can start building business credit as soon as your business is formatted with the Secretary of State and you have your EIN, which is also known as your tax ID number, and that is your social security number for your business. If you haven't registered your business yet, I recommend using 𝓚𝓚𝓦. I'll use a link below for 𝓚𝓚𝓦. They can do everything for you because, you know, we're not professionals when we first start. We're all learning together, right? And I paid companies, I paid all of these different, LegalZoom for my corporation, one of my first corporations when I set it up, and they're very expensive. And honestly, 𝓚𝓚𝓦 literally walks you through everything step by step. It's very affordable. They can even get everything registered for you with the IRS, and I think it's only like $99 more. So it's really worth it to have everything organized, done by the same people. They'll keep you in good standing. You get a registered agent free for 1 year, and we are partnered with 𝓚𝓚𝓦. So if you use the link below, you can help support our channel at no additional cost to you. So let's talk about the second myth that we see here, which is your personal and business credit is reported the same. That is absolutely false, 100% false. And then the way my business is set up doesn't matter. That is 100% false as well, because your business foundation is literally everything, okay? From the name to the address to the phone number to the website to the email address. All of these things matter. You might think that they're small and they don't matter, but they absolutely do matter, okay? So we're going to be busting those myths that people love to talk about, okay? So let's talk about how do you build your business credit properly, right? Because that's one of the questions that I get from a lot of people is, how do I build business credit? Can you do it for me? No, I cannot do it for you, okay? But I can show you how to do it. And you can then hire someone to do these steps for you, which, that's for people that have the money to hire like a virtual assistant or a personal assistant to sit there and fill out applications and build business for them. But again, once you build these business credit accounts, you have to pay the invoices. So you have to make sure that you have a good system set up, okay? So let's talk about the business name, because this is something that a lot of people kind of like oversee. They're like, well, I got to have a business name where you know exactly what my business does. So I'm going to name it Nicole's Trucking Company. No, we do not need to know exactly what your business does from your business name. In fact, you want to leave it a bit of a mystery, right? You want to allow some room for imagination. The old saying, I don't know. Let's talk about the business name. So a lot of people think it's very simple. I have to name my business whatever my business does. So I'm going to name it, Joe's Credit Repair. No. We don't want anything high risk in the business name. In fact, we want our business name to leave some room for imagination. Meaning, if you are a credit repair business, obviously credit repair is a high risk, so that could affect your funding. So instead, we want to leave your business name something very, very generic. And I know it's boring, but you can also set up DBAs. So if you want to be called, Joe's Credit Repair, then you can have a DBA for Joe's Credit Repair. But for funding purposes, so the business name needs to be something super generic. And I know generic can sometimes be boring. However, this is for funding purposes. So when you are selecting your business name, it does not need to be something like Joe's Credit Repair if you are a credit repair company. It needs to be something like Joe's Enterprises or, Smith's Enterprises, something very generic, because when you go to a bank and you are in a high risk industry like credit repair or trucking or real estate or rental cars, and that is inside of your business name, it can literally be a no-go based on your business name. So that's why it's really important for you guys to keep, the generic businesses, enterprises, something that is going to be, hey, what does your business do? Let me head over to your website and check it out. And then we'll get to the website. Of course, we want to have a very generic website. So some of the low risk industry names, logistics, consulting, something like enterprises. Those are just a few that come to the top of my head. Of course, you can head over to namecheck.com, or you can head to your Secretary of State's website and you can check if your business name is available in the state that you plan to operate in. But that is going to be very important. You want to make sure that your business name is available. And again, you can head over to namecheck.com, or you can head to the Secretary of State. Again, look it up. And if someone does have the business name, you probably want to select something else that is similar but not the same, okay? Now, let's talk about setting up the business. Once you have confirmed that the business name that you want to use is available, I would start planning out accordingly, because you really want everything to be consistent across the board. Website, social media. Banks are going to be looking at all of these things. So if you are a new business, you might not have all of these things set up, but I highly recommend having at least a website so that way banks can verify that you are a legitimate person. And we will get into all of that. The website is a part of the foundation. And inside of our course, I actually show you guys how to build a super easy website using Wix. So I recommend Wix.com, Wix.com. It's literally a website builder. They have templates in there. So all that you would need to do is go in, have a template website, and modify it to your liking. If you need help with that, you can always reach out. I charge, for the websites, but you can do it yourself. It's very, very simple. Now, you want to make sure that you have set up your business properly as far as deciding whether you want to set your business up to be an LLC, a C Corp, or an S Corp. And really the biggest differences between those are the tax advantages. The most common business formation, I would say, is probably going to be your LLC. But again, I don't give legal advice or tax advice. Everyone is different. So I would consult with a CPA and see, talk about your business and your plans and see what the best formation would be for you based on your business, tax advantage wise. Some people that are going to be, a sole corporation, like they're the only person that are going to be on the corporation, maybe an LLC wouldn't be the best fit for you. You might want to look at either S Corp or a C Corp, but again, just kind of look into what is going to be best for you and for your business. Now, here is a pro tip for you guys. You're going to have to divorce your personal credit from your business. And I know that it's sad and it's like, oh my gosh, but believe me, you want to separate the two. You only want to take your business credit so far using your personal credit, right? When we first set up and we're first getting started, we have to, right? But eventually we're going to build our business credit so strong we won't have to. Okay, that's the goal. Now, another pro tip is this allows you to float bigger balances on your limits. So here is a pro tip. Eventually, our goal would be to divorce our business credit from our personal credit. Let's start over. Here's a pro tip. you have to divorce your personal credit from your business, because eventually you really want to separate the two. So you don't want business credit reporting on your personal credit. That's a big no-no. You want to keep your personal credit squeaky clean so that way you can leverage it at any time for business credit, because business credit is where you can really get the big dog credit limits and credit lines, especially when you have a squeaky clean credit report. But if your personal credit is high utilization, you have late payments, you have collections, it makes it more challenging. But in the beginning, we really want to use our personal credit to personally guarantee for our business so we can build our business credit up strong, and then eventually break up, divorce our personal credit, because our business credit is so strong. We don't necessarily need to do that any longer, because we are going to be cash flowing. We have business credit, we have business cash, we have business tax returns, we have business bank statements, we have documents, right? So this is kind of like the growing phase, that first 2 to 5 years of your business, where you are going to be needing to use your personal credit to personally guarantee for business credit until your business is strong enough to stand on its own 2 feet. Are there going to be business credit accounts out there that you don't need to personally guarantee? Absolutely. And we'll get into some of those, and there are a ton in my business credit course. So you can actually visit the links below in the description and purchase our business credit course. It's normally $1,000 for our business credit course, but it is on sale for less than $300. Like, that is a steal of a deal, because I have literally seen courses out there that are just, I don't even know how people sell them, to be honest with you, but thousands and thousands of dollars for these courses. And my course literally has like everything from A to Z that you're going to need to start your business, build business credit, and start getting the bag when it comes to the business credit. Now, business credit is also going to allow you to, again, float bigger limits, get bigger limits. So there's a ton of benefit when it comes to, getting business credit versus the personal credit. And a lot of people just don't understand how easy it is to get business credit. And I get it. Anything new is intimidating. And, you go to YouTube to learn from all these gurus, and next thing you know, you're paying them $5,000 for God knows what. So be careful out there. There's a lot of sharks out there, but I am here to tell you, you can absolutely do it yourself. You can use different platforms to help you do it. I like using Incfile. And again, Incfile's link is below, because here we are, tax ID, which is your employer ID. This is literally your social security number for your business. Now, your EIN, which is your employer identification number, is also referred to as your tax ID number. And that is going to be the number that you're going to get from the IRS. That is basically your social security number as a business. That's going to be the number that you're going to put on the applications when it asks for your business's EIN number or your tax ID number. And this is what's going to help build your business credit. When it comes to registering your business through Incfile, you're going to select the state that you want to do it in, of course. And then there's an option for them to do your banking resolutions, your tax ID, and a few other documents. And you can elect for them to do it. And it's, I think, like $99 more if they do everything for you. But I would recommend just having them do everything for you for a little bit of nothing so you can stay organized. And the thing that I like about them is you have everything accessible through their portal. And you don't need to have everything in all these different places. Now, I do recommend printing everything out, putting it inside of your corporate binder, so that way when you go to financial institutions to open up business bank accounts, you have everything organized. But sometimes they want you to email them stuff. You can easily download it from Incfile's customer portal. and send it over to them. So you'll have your Secretary of State documents in there, and you'll also have your EIN information, the letter from the IRS that is scanned and put into the portal, which is amazing because you are always going to need these documents when it comes to opening up business bank accounts, and they're all in one place. So your employer identification number, you can actually request that directly from the IRS's website. You can do it yourself for free, or you can elect to have IncFile do it for you for a little bit extra. And if you're not familiar with this process, I would just have them do it. If you are familiar, you can do it yourself. But again, you want to have everything organized and in one place, okay? So let's talk about the business location. This is another really important topic when it comes to that business foundation that we're setting right now. So we're kind of in that building phase, right? Where we've got our toolboxes out, we're hammering, we're laying cement, we're making sure that our foundation on this beautiful building that we're creating, is going to be lasting for years, right? If we put all the work in now, we don't take shortcuts, we don't try to sweep things under the rug, we don't try to put a piece of tape over something that really needs screws and nails. We want to make sure that we are building our foundation to be solid, right? So not only can we stand on it with our own 2 feet, but we can leave it to our family and build generational wealth so our whole family can stand on it, right? So here are some pro tips when it comes to using a business address. Can you use your business home address when you're first starting out? Yes, you can. However, it will be somewhat limiting to you. It is more common now because, since COVID happened, there's a lot more home-based businesses. So when you're first starting out, sometimes your funds are tight and you're not able to afford what we call a virtual office location, and that's fine. You don't need one. You can always get one later and then update your address with the Secretary of State and the IRS. But if you have a budget, which, I do recommend you putting this into your budget because it is important, I would recommend getting a virtual business address. This is not a P.O. box. This is not a UPS store or any sort of postal annex store or postal box store. You do not want any sort of P.O. box. You don't really want to use your home address, but again, if finances are tight and you don't plan to use your business right now for funding, then you can use your business address. What a lot of people do is they start their business, they put everything under their home business, they kind of let it marinate for a while, and then they'll come back and they'll update their address when they are getting ready to plan for their next funding sequence. So it's up to you and your, budget per se, but you want to use a real brick and mortar location. And a lot of you might ask, what the heck does that mean? It just means that it's a real business commercial location. So, if we look you up online, it's going to show an office building and it's going to be in a commercial building. It's not going to be, some postal store or something that's just not real, right? You can use a virtual business address location like Opus. I highly recommend Opus because not only have I been using them for over 15 years, but they are super affordable. It's only $99 a month, and it comes with your virtual business address and a business telephone number, which is another part of the foundation that we're going to need. So when you're first starting out, that's a good deal. $99 a month for the business address and the business telephone number. Perfect. So I recommend Opus. I'll leave a link below for Opus where you guys can actually save up to $100 off of the sign up for Opus. So Opus has locations nationwide. You can head over to their website using the link below. Again, this link helps support our channel at no additional cost to you. You're actually saving money because we have a partnership with Opus where we can actually offer you guys $100 off of the setup fee. So you're literally saving money to use Opus. Another thing is, if you don't want to use Opus, you can partner with other local businesses. Say, for example, you live in a small town and maybe there's like a local print shop or a local business that can rent you a mailbox out of their office location. You can go to them and say, hey, you know, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, I'm a small business owner. Do you mind if I pay you, say, $50 a month where I can rent a mailbox and receive mail at your location? Yes, awesome. So what you would need to do is just put a mailbox on somewhere in their facility, and your new address would be, instead of 101 Main Street, 101 Main Street, Suite B or Suite 200. It just has to be a different suite number. So whatever address they're using, you need to make sure yours is differentiated by that suite number. Another pro tip that you guys want to pay attention to is you want to make sure that you research the address before you purchase it for your virtual business location. Whatever your business location is, you want to head over to the USPS website, USPS.com, United States Postal Services.com, and you want to look up your business address to ensure that your business address is not listed as a mail receiving company. Okay? Again, head over to there. If you need coaching, you can schedule a coaching call so we can go through this together. But you do not want your business listed as a mail receiving company, because that's a red flag when it comes to funding. It basically means that this person bought an address from a company who receives mail for other businesses, and we do not want that. So if you are, creative like myself, want to think outside of the box, try to partner with local businesses that own a little shop somewhere, and you can literally just rent a mailbox from them for like $50 a month, and you can literally pay them for like 6 or 12 months. So it's additional income for them, and it's a great business mailing address for you, because chances are it's not going to be listed as a mail receiving company because there's only one business there, and you can have a real office location, a real brick and mortar location. So when banks look up your address, they're going to see, oh, well, yeah, this is a real business, or this is a real shop, So be creative, think outside of the box, okay? Now, when it comes to the business email and the online presence, I specialize in online presence. You guys probably found me from being online, right? If I wasn't online, you would have never met me. And aren't you so glad that you have, right? So with that being said, make sure that you guys have subscribed to my YouTube channel at Credit Coach Nicole Scott. And of course, you follow me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook as well, but if you guys know anything about my backstory, my Facebook account was hacked about a year ago. So I had to start all over. It was so sad. And I don't have a huge following on Facebook because the account's only about a year old. But that's my story. Be careful. Don't click on anything that you get from Facebook in your email, because it could allow your Facebook to get hacked like mine did. So I didn't know any better at the time, but now I am. So you can follow me on all of the social media platforms. I'm on TikTok as well, but to be honest with you, I don't even know how to use TikTok. My main platforms are YouTube and Insta. So business email and online presence. You need to have a business email address. What does that mean? It means that it's not at Gmail, it's not at Yahoo, it's not at Hotmail. You want to make sure that your business address is actually your business domain name. Now, your domain name, it does not need to be your exact business name. It just needs to be a professional email address, right? So instead of NicoleScott@yahoo.com, let's go for support@NicoleScott.com. That's much better. But maybe my business name is not, Nicole Scott. it doesn't matter because it's still a business email address versus a Gmail or a Yahoo. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Leave me down some comments below if you guys are enjoying this video so far. Let me know if you have found value in these videos, because I work hard to create this information, to share it with you guys. So the least that you guys can do is leave me some comments below and let me know if you have found value in these videos, okay? And if you do need more coaching or assistance when it comes to business credit, personal credit, getting funding, whatever the case may be, holler at me, because I am the person that you need to get with. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to let you know what's real, what's not, and what's going to be your best course of action, because there are, like I said, there's a lot of sharks out there, and at the end of the day, a lot of them just care about the dollar and they don't care about you. I want to make sure that you guys are straight. I want to make sure that you guys are set up for long-term success, not this microwavable success that everyone tries to flash in front of your face with the fancy private jets and rented cars and, rented, I guess you could say luxury clothing and bags and all that lifestyle marketing that just simply is not real. That is not real. Lifestyle marketing to me is what makes us happy, right? Family, being financially free, living in our truth, living our dreams, being able to help people, being able to change lives. Not only have I changed my life, but I have helped change thousands of other people's lives. And it's literally from sharing information, right? I don't wear a bunch of fancy jewelry. I have fancy cars and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, none of that matters, right? Because it can all be gone tomorrow. What matters is us setting ourselves up for success that is going to be long term, and us knowing this information so we don't have to rely on other people to do this for us, because information is powerful, right? Information is life-changing, and some people withhold this information and only give it to people who pay them thousands and thousands of dollars. But I'm literally giving you this information for free, and all that I ask for you guys in exchange is to like, comment, subscribe, and share my video on your social media platforms. Share it via text. Share it with other people that could learn something from this, because all of this information you guys can do yourselves. It's super affordable. And if you are serious about success, these are all the steps that you're going to need to go through. You're going to need to invest your time into learning this information. Stop trying to pay someone to do everything for you, because you don't even know what they're doing. You don't know how they're doing it, what they're doing. You need to have the game plan and the floor plan, and then hire someone to execute for you. That's the game plan, right? So, back to the subject at hand. You guys know I sometimes get derailed when I'm talking about things, but I'm just so passionate about this information because it is life-changing, right? And I want you guys to take advantage of it while the getting is still good, because there's a lot of places out there that we can get a bag from with low to no documents, and that's huge. But I believe in the near future, all of that is going to be going away. So this information that I'm sharing with you guys, now keep in mind there's going to be 2 parts to this video because it's really long, and I don't expect you guys to sit through 3 hours of me talking your ear off, right? But I'm going to break it up. So the second part of this video is literally, you're going to, it's just mind blowing. Like when I was putting all this stuff together, I was like, dude, this is like $1 million worth of game. So if you have not figured that out by now, I'm like telling you guys, this information is life-changing. Okay. So again, online presence, we want to list ourselves online. That's another reason why you don't really want to use your home address, because you are going to need to list your business online. So when the banks go and Google you, they're going to find you right there, okay? And they're going to know that you're a legitimate business. Some of the best sites to list your business, and again, I have like tons of sites in my course that you guys can go through and list your business with all of those places. But some of the most popular are listyourself.net, yext.com, even some of the, ones like Yelp and White Pages, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. All of those are going to come up in the search engines to help validate that you are, in fact, a legitimate business. You want to make sure that all of your information matches 100%. From the business name, if there is a period in your business name, that period needs to be across the board, right? If your business name has LLC behind it, that needs to be listed exactly the same as it is on the Secretary of State's website. So everything matches from your business name to your business address. If you're using STE for suite number, make sure that it stays consistent. Don't use number 101 and then suite 101. No, stay consistent. However you're going to be listing your business, make sure that it matches everywhere. Online, Yelp, wherever your business is listed. You can even use different listing services. I have used different ones like Manta in the past, where you can literally, it's like a listing blast service. You list your business with them and they'll blast it out to everyone. You can, register your business with Google My Business, Bing.com. So those are two others that you want to make sure that you have registered your business. When it comes to Google My Business, which it's literally just that, Google My Business, they're going to send you a code in the mail to verify your business address. And then once you receive that code in the mail, you're just going to put it in and boom, your business will be validated. Okay. So let's talk about your business telephone number. Now, there are different options out there when you're first starting out. Obviously, sometimes, your budget is very small, and that's why I like Opus, because they offer the business telephone number and the business address with their $99 cost. So you can use the business telephone number that comes with your business virtual office if you would like, or if you think, hey, I don't know, I think I want to get another type of phone system just in case. Now, if you do get a phone with Opus, you can transfer that phone number to another carrier when you decide that you've outgrown their phone system. Freedom Voice, that's one that I really like. It is very cheap, affordable. It's a virtual phone system. So the business phone number is going to be very important. You want to make sure that you have a business telephone number that is dedicated to your business. It's listed online. You can use freedomvoice.com. It's a virtual phone line, and you can use it, all online, and it will give you your business telephone number for fairly cheap. You can also use Opus. And we talked about this a little bit before. Opus is going to be providing you with a business telephone number. And the thing that I like about them is they give you a live receptionist. So I actually used Opus when I first started, and I really liked it because when, different financial institutions or clients would call me at my business telephone number during normal business hours, I had a live receptionist that would answer in my business name, and then they would actually transfer the caller to my cell phone number. So they answer the phone, transfer the phone number, or transfer the caller to your cell phone or whatever phone number you have listed on there, so you can actually take the call or they can leave a message. They do have text features. I think the text feature is like $5 more per month, but you can certainly use Opus when you're first starting out, especially because it's already provided for you with the virtual business address, your business telephone number, and a live receptionist. You can't beat that, right? For $99 a month. It's definitely worth it. But you just want to make sure that you verify the address, like I had mentioned before, with the USPS, to make sure that the address that is not listed as a mail receiving company, because that will be one of the fastest ways to get your business red flagged, okay? And I say that in the nicest way possible, but you don't want to F that up to begin with, because the foundation is really important. So, you want to make sure that you have done your due diligence prior to getting everything set up, because, it would be horrible if you, got your address and then realized, oh my God, this is registered as a mail receiving company. So they know it's like, a company that receives mail for other businesses. They're not going to take me serious. And then you have to change it. It's just a hassle, right? So you want to make sure that you have your business set up good from the beginning. So when you register it and then you list it online, everything will match: the business address, business telephone number, business website, all of that good stuff. So make sure that you watch this entire video in its entirety before you set up your business, if you have not already set up your business. And if you do need additional help, reach out, because you don't want to make the mistakes that I made when I was first starting my businesses. I've, had several different businesses that I've, had in the past, and some of them worked out great and some of them not so much. Like, I was in the alarm industry. We had a business that we ran and operated for over 10 years. I was partnered with some other guys, and it was very, very successful. So I learned a lot about businesses. But there have been other businesses that I've started, like the trucking, for example, and it was just a complete SHIT show. So make sure that you're making smart moves, you're researching, but you're not waiting too long to pull the trigger when it comes to getting it done, right? We're doing our due diligence, but we're also taking action. We're not just watching and not doing anything. We're actually, okay, this is my game plan, and now I'm going to execute it, right? And if you feel like you need additional coaching, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to kind of guide you and provide you with valuable information and life experience from not only myself, because I've been, in the business realm and business operations for over 20 years. I know I might look young, but I'm 31 again this year. I think I've been 31 for like 10 years now. I'm just kidding. But, I have a lot of experience, and that's why I, got into this industry, so I could share my experience with you guys, so you don't make the same mistakes, costly mistakes at that I made. Okay. Let's talk about a pro tip for you guys real quick. Okay. Now, you can open or switch phone lines to a business phone account using your EIN. I like Verizon. I don't like Verizon per se, but Verizon offers a good business plan where you can get, business telephone number, business cell phone number, business cell phone, and iPad, and, internet, and all of those things under your business, which helps you in return build business credit. So you can actually start leveraging, these type of accounts to start building more business trade lines and more business credit and credibility under your business name. So if you have a personal cell phone that you use for business, I would recommend finding a company like Verizon that you can open up a business account with, and you can transfer your cell phones underneath the business using your EIN. Now, I opened up Verizon a long time ago, and I don't believe they require your social security number. I believe it's just the EIN. Now, things are always changing, and that's, the thing about credit is sometimes it's such a mystery, and sometimes things might be relevant today, but not so relevant in 2 weeks. Things are always changing, especially with banks, financial institutions, artificial intelligence, policies, procedures. Sometimes people get these hacks and run them into the ground and they're dead a week later. So, but when it comes to, doing business the right way, you won't ever have to worry about things not working out in your favor, because you're doing it the right way. Okay. Verizon reports to Dun& Bradstreet and Experian. It can be a non-PG with a $3,500 credit line. So Verizon reports to Dun & Bradstreet, which oftentimes you'll see me referring to as D&B, Dun & Bradstreet. And they also report to Experian. Now, things are always changing. That could change, right? But you can actually get up to $3,500 line of credit without a PG. Now, sometimes it doesn't always work out for people because there's different factors, right? Time in business. If you're a brand new business, those things kind of play a role in some of the decision factoring. Not kind of, but absolutely do. So, but just try. Go to Verizon. You can build a relationship with what I call an SMB, which is a small business manager. So Verizon reports to Dun & Bradstreet and Experian as far as we know as of right now. Things are always changing and it could definitely change, but as of right now, Verizon is reporting to Dun & Bradstreet and Experian, and you can generally get up to a $3,500 line of credit without a PG. Sometimes you can get more, but that's pretty good. I've even seen newer businesses that were only 6 months old get approved. So just head over to their website and apply. You can also call in, or I don't recommend visiting a branch because there's not a lot of small business account managers at branches, because Verizon Business is actually a separate division versus the normal Verizon for consumers. So you want to make sure that when you're calling in, you're talking to the Verizon small business team and build a relationship with a small business account manager, so that way they can help you get everything set up under your Verizon account. And you could literally bring everyone's phone over to your Verizon account under your business and start building business credit with things that say you're already paying for. And that's the beauty about business credit, because a lot of things that have to do with business, since you are the business owner, it's going to be like everything you do is business related, right? Meals, everything, travel, cell phone, so many things can be under that business category, because at the end of the day, you are your business. You are the one that has to do everything. And oftentimes the pay isn't great when we first start out, right? So that is a pro tip. Verizon, I've done several videos on them, short form videos. So make sure to head over to my Instagram and watch some of those Verizon videos. So let's talk about a business bank account. So business bank accounts are really important, not only because, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, that we want to separate business from personal. We want to try to stay away from piercing the corporate veil, which is basically where if you commingle your funds and you go before a judge, they could potentially say that, hey, the business isn't protected because you were commingling all of the funds. So it's really important for you guys to understand you want to separate everything and you want to have your business bank account set up. We do not need to be monogamous when it comes to our bank accounts. You don't need to bank with Bank of America or Chase or Wells Fargo and just stay with them because they're the most popular. I recommend starting with either 2 to 3 business bank accounts and start building that relationship, start grooming that relationship so you can get credit from them. The best way to speak love language to banks is opening up a business bank account, making deposits, because believe it or not, for every $100 that we put into a bank account, they can literally 10x that money. So That's the beauty of it. It might not be a lot to us, but in the bank's eyes, they can monopolize on our money when it's in their ecosystem. So we want to make sure that you understand how to build a relationship with a bank, how to date them, how to make sure it's going to be a long, loving, fruitful relationship that goes both ways, right? So here are a couple pro tips for you guys. Relationships are the secret weapon to higher funding. And we're going to get into that because I'm telling you, the love language with banks is relationship. Okay. That's exactly why so many people are so successful with banks like Navy Federal, and, PenFed, First Tech, Alliant, Truist, just to name a few, right? Because they are building a relationship with this bank. They start on the personal side, they go over to the business side. Now they're able to take advantage of some of their business credit products because they have a great relationship with them. Okay. Credit unions and regional banks are usually more preferred for startup companies and smaller businesses. And think about it like this. Like if you go to a bank that's within your community, that's a credit union or like a regional bank, chances are they're going to be more favorable to you as a small business because their whole mission is to invest into companies like yourself that are making a difference in the community, whether it's, construction or trucking or credit or whatever. Of course, a lot of banks don't necessarily like credit repair, but that can fall under you're a consulting business, which now is considered low risk, right? Instead of trucking, we are a logistics business that is now considered to be low risk. So credit unions, regional banks, they are by far where you want to be, right? And I've done several videos where it shows you how to look up banks. You can use the bank branch locator website and find great banks that are in your area that are literally giving out the most amount of money so you can start building a relationship with them. Do not ask them on a date until you guys have been acquainted for at least 90 days, okay? That's kind of the sweet spot that I've come to realize is, wait about 90 days before you pop the question like, hey, so how about that business credit card, right? You don't want to just ask them soon as you open up that account, right? You want to wait, let it marinate, make some deposits. If there are any sort of CDs or money market accounts or anything that will help your relationship, do it. Okay. Secured loans, I like those. Secured credit cards, not so much. I would prefer a secured loan because you can pay it off faster. You can also close it and get your money back. Well, not necessarily close it because once you open credit, you don't want to close it. You want to keep it open, but it could be at a zero balance where you still have access to your funds when it comes to a secured loan like the pledge loan with Navy Federal. So if you haven't watched my Navy Federal masterclass and some of my Navy Federal videos, make sure to watch those videos. I'll leave a link below because they have some amazing value in them. Okay. Let's talk about some of the main players when it comes to business credit and the business credit reporting agencies. Okay. So we've got Dun & Bradstreet. We've got Experian Commercial. Okay. We've got Equifax Business. We've got the SBFE, which is the Small Business Financial Exchange. And a lot of people misconcept the SBFE. They're like, oh, that's a credit bureau. No, the SBFE is not a credit bureau. I repeat, the SBFE is not a credit bureau. They are a data company. So they are literally a agency. Well, I guess you can say not really agency, but they are what are considered to be membership. So banks and financial institutions are a part of their association as members. And being a part of this association, the Small Business Financial Exchange collects data, and they will reveal that data to their members. Okay. Now, they are not a credit reporting company because they don't provide a credit score. They just provide data. And if you guys haven't figured it out by now, data is the new gold. Okay. So sharing data is the new gold. It is literally life-changing. It's literally helping banks make financial decisions based on data. So that's why it's so important to do the right thing. Make sure that you are not running off with the plug's money. Okay, making sure that you are being responsible when it comes to credit, because all of these things are recorded. With the amount of artificial intelligence and, just technology and data these days, these data companies have more data about you than you have on you. So it's extremely important to understand that a lot of things that we used to be able to get away with and maybe slip under the rug 10 years ago, that ain't happening these days, okay? You want to make sure that you're making the right decisions. Of course, things sometimes can go south, but we don't want to mess things up, okay? We want to make sure that we're making the right decisions. And if that's moving at a slower pace, then maybe that's what you need to do. Because I've noticed a lot of clients that come to me that are, fast paced, 110 miles an hour, they crash really hard too, okay? So the faster you go, the faster you're going to crash. So sometimes slow and steady still wins the race. And guess what? We're ready for another race, and we can continue to run these marathons, because credit is a marathon. It's not a race. We don't want it to end. We don't want to crash and burn. We want to continue to run. And that's where a lot of people fall short. And that's why so many small businesses fail within the first year or two, unfortunately. Okay. So let's talk about Dun & Bradstreet and some of the benefits with becoming Dun & Bradstreet. I guess you could say, when you have your DUNS number, having a paydex score, what those things can do for you and how Dun & Bradstreet can benefit you. Because a lot of people say, oh, just get an 80 paydex score and you can get funding. There's a lot more to it. In fact, Dun & Bradstreet is primarily popular for vendor accounts, okay? So you're going to want to build your paydex score. Your paydex score is going to be your business credit score with Dun & Bradstreet. So there's your DUNS number, which is the number that is associated for your business. It's kind of like, your EIN number, but it's just for Dun & Bradstreet, right? And then you have your paydex score, which is going to be your business credit score. The business credit score, your paydex score, is going to range between 1 and 100. Really no need to have a 100. It really makes no difference. Average is around 80 to 90. Even 90 is really no difference than 80. Most people will generate an 80 paydex score once they have at least three trade references reported paid as agreed. If you have 3 trade references that report paid early, then you could possibly generate a 90 paydex score, but an 80 paydex score is perfectly fine. In fact, it's better than most, right? You will be able to get funding without having to PG if you have a paydex score that is strong and you have a credit report under Dun & Bradstreet that is strong. But you always have to ask yourself, at what cost, right? And what are the terms, right? What is this going to look like for me? Do not pay to have Tradelines added from Dun & Bradstreet. Oh, that was one of the most expensive mistakes that I made as a new business owner. And honestly, Dun & Bradstreet, if you haven't watched my video about them being under fire for this, you need to watch that video, because Dun & Bradstreet they target people. They are very much into sales, and they will try to sell you on things that you simply do not need. The only thing that you need with Dun & Bradstreet is the free account that allows you to update your business information. You do not need to pay them to add trade lines to your business credit. In fact, that whole system that they have to add trade lines to your business credit, most of the trade lines that you would be looking to add are not even able to be added. So most vendors have opted out of that. The only way you're really able to add business trade lines to Dun & Bradstreet is if it's with a small business that is registered with Dun & Bradstreet. They have to have a DUNS number. They don't necessarily have to have a score, but they just need to have a Dun & Bradstreet number and a profile with Dun & Bradstreet. So that way you can, report their trade line. But it's simply not worth it. I literally paid, at that time, I think it was like $2,000 that I paid to add 24 trade lines to my business credit with Dun & Bradstreet. And it was a complete waste of money, okay? Because most of the vendors that I tried to add were not available to be added. There was only a couple. And then years later, my account was flagged. And guess what? All of those business trade lines ended up coming off. So it was a complete waste, and you just don't need it. Do it the right way. Build it up organically. Do business with vendors that are organically going to report to Dun & Bradstreet to help you build your paydex score, okay? Now, you want to have vendor and financial accounts. So there's two different types of trade accounts. There are vendor accounts, which are most common for Dun & Bradstreet, but there's also financial accounts. You want to have both, right? When you first start your business, obviously vendor accounts are going to be a lot easier to acquire. They're going to help kick off this whole business credit thing. And then you're going to start getting into the more, financial accounts, gas cards, store cards, business credit cards, things of that nature, more of like your revolving lines of credit. But we got to build up to that, right? And it all takes time. Credit is a process. There's nothing fast about credit. And in fact, credit is probably one of the most frustrating things to deal with because it's time consuming and there's nothing that we can do about it. It just takes time. But you have to trust the process, right? I know people, we're in this day and age where, you have to have instant gratification, right? But there's nothing instant about credit, right? If you're looking for instant, it's not real. It's going to be a scam. So I'm telling you, save yourself the headache and, the stress of getting scammed. Do not fall for the BS. If it sounds too good to be true, guess what? It probably is, okay? Because I've literally tried different things. I've looked for the next new shiniest coin out there. And, I tried to follow the rainbow that led to the pot of gold. And guess what? It was a pot of fool's gold. It wasn't real, right? So here are some pro tips for you. Each account that you have reported is reported as a payment experience. The more payment experiences that you have, guess what? The more credible that you are, because the more you can be trusted and the more people are reporting, this person pays as agreed. This person pays as agreed. There's no risk to you, right? And that's why it's so important to understand when it comes to business credit. And if you don't remember anything else about these videos, remember this. The most important thing when it comes to business credit is paying on time. You do not get a buffer on business credit. On personal credit, they'll give you 30 days before they report you as late. But with business credit, no. Okay, you need to pay early, in fact, okay? Soon as you get that invoice for these companies, pay the invoice. Don't pay it at that 30-day mark. You do not want the vendor to report that you are slow to pay or that you are days late. You want all of your vendors to report that you pay as agreed or that you pay early. Those are the only two things that we want to see. Pay as agreed, pay early. We are fine with those two things. Now, to double your business credit building speed, you can add accounts that report to more than one bureau at the same time. Now, some accounts that I really like for this purpose of building are accounts like NAV. And NAV is a great way for you to establish credit trade lines with all of the business companies that we've talked about, including SBFE, right? So NAV is going to report to Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet. You can actually add 2 different NAV accounts. They just have to be 30 days apart. So you can have 2 accounts with NAV. You can also get other business vendor accounts, and I have a ton of business vendor accounts in my business credit course, and I'm always adding more value to these courses. I'm not going to create a new course where you have to buy a new course. No, everything is poured into my business credit course or the credit repair course. And the credit repair course literally shows you how to repair credit and start a credit repair business. It has all of our ebooks. Everything that we have is inside of our business credit courses, or I should say our courses. Whether it's ebooks, whatever, they're all inside of the course. So yes, it takes a while to go through all of this information, but believe me when I tell you, all you have is time. When you're driving, listen to videos. When you're, doing things that you're like, man, I feel like I'm wasting time right now. How can I better leverage my time to learn, especially when you're still working a 9 to 5. When you're sitting at your desk, or when you're driving home from work, or when you're driving to work, make sure that you are listening to some of my videos or maybe other people's videos. Listen to the Credit Concept podcast. That's my podcast that I have out that I talk about credit and some of the different concepts behind credit. Listen to all this stuff, right? Eventually you're going to have that aha moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I get it. It's not so hard after all, right? It's not. It's super easy. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, some of the other business vendors that you can use to start building business credit: Uline, Summa, Granger, Crown Office Supplies, eCredible, NAV, we talked about that, WEX, that's for gas cards. Those are some of the great places. I've left a bunch of links in the description for you guys to sign up with some of these places. And you can also purchase the business credit course for a little bit of nothing, okay? And when I tell you guys, I have literally spent thousands and thousands of dollars to put this course together for you guys, and you're not even paying $1,000. You're literally paying the sale price, which is under $300 today. And if you can't afford that, then maybe starting a business is not the right time for you to do all of this, right? You can always start a business and just let it marinate. And that's what a lot of people do, is they just start it so they can get that age going. But even that is going to take some investment, right? Because you want to make sure that you're doing it the right way. Worst case scenario, just take the foundational parts of it and put it together. Ink file, Opus, business email address, business website, right? So, you have your basics where you have your business name, your business telephone number, your registration is done, you have your business website, your business email, you're listed online so people can find you. You have your, what else do we need? That's pretty much it. Business name, business address, business email, business website, business telephone number. Those are really like the major things that we need, right? So, some other ones are BP, Fuelman, Walmart. They have a commercial side. Sam's Club. This is a really popular one because this is one of the last MasterCards that's actually a revolving credit card, that do not require a personal guarantee. A personal guarantee is a PG. That's what it stands for, personal guarantee. That's where you're basically using your personal credit to guarantee that the credit will be paid as agreed on behalf of the business. You can do that because anyone that's able to PG has a good personal credit score, right? So Sam's Club, you actually can walk into it. The application is in store, not online. So you actually have to leave the metaverse for a minute and you actually have to go in store. They do require that you have the $99 membership. So there's two different types of memberships. I think one's like $50, but if you want to apply for the business credit card, you're going to need to have the upgraded version, which is the $100 membership. And they are going to, have you fill out the application in store. You want to make sure that before you apply, your business can be found online because they are going to go and they're going to research your business and they're going to do a simple search. Last time they searched for my business, they used Bing and they called my business to verify some information, and that was it. It was very, very simple. I would recommend before you apply for this that you have at least 4 to 5 net 30 accounts, and do not give them your social security number. They on the application, they're going to ask you for your tax ID, which is your EIN from the IRS. There's also a place on the application for your DUNS number. And if you have your DUNS number from Dun & Bradstreet, you can put that on there. But right now, they are pulling your Experian business score. So, back in the day, they pulled Dun & Bradstreet, but I'm not sure if they are pulling Dun & Bradstreet anymore. From what I understand, they are now pulling from Experian, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But again, you want to make sure that your business is listed online. So when they do that initial search, they can find your business, they can verify it. If they need to call your business telephone number, they can call and verify anything that they need to. And the great thing about Sam's Club is you can use it anywhere MasterCard is accepted. So it's great. It's revolving. And they also have, they have a couple different Sam's Club commercial accounts. So just check them out. And again, it's no PG. They have the Sam's Club card. They have the Sam's Club MasterCard. The Sam's Club card, you can use that at Walmart as well because they're the same. So I would highly recommend applying for that card. Office Depot, that's another one that I got early on for my business. Now, some of these might be sensitive to the amount of time that you've been in business. So I will say that when I first started my business, I was being told no a lot, and that's only due to the amount of time that I was in business. So a lot of these like store cards or fuel cards, they like for a business to be around anywhere from 6 months to 2 years before they approve somebody. I have seen newer businesses get approved, but it just varies. Okay. So you just want to make sure that you're prepared for that. It's not always going to be a yes, but that's no reason to give up. You still have to keep on going. So we are going to take a break and we're going to wrap up part 1 of this amazing video, guys. So if you haven't by now, make sure that you've subscribed to the channel. Give me a huge thumbs up, 2 of them, and make sure that you leave me a comment and let me know if you have found value in this video. Make sure that you have followed me on Instagram. If you need additional help or information, visit all of the links below and we can connect more. And again, if you haven't watched that Navy Federal Masterclass, you definitely want to watch that. Thank you guys so much for listening to me mumble and bumble about this business credit stuff. I know it can be super boring, but believe me, it is literally life-changing information. And at the end of the day, all that you have to do, get the information, understand the information, and take action. So until next time, guys, take action.